There's now hundreds of achievements across the 10 Call of Duty games that feature some form of zombies, and obviously some of those are going to be a little bit neglected, like my emotions as a child. So I set out to complete a few of the hardest and rarest achievements because the memes are going to be immaculate. Speaking of memes, oh hey, it's last gen Black Ops 3. While I go through the first few rounds, let me explain how this works. I'm using a website called PSN Profiles, which tracks every game and millions of PlayStation users around the world. It shows precisely how many people have played and completed each achievement that have signed into the website, and according to them, the reason that we're here on last gen Rarest is because only 696 people on PS3 have done this. First of all, nice, and second of all, the trophy is called None Left Standing. It's actually been unlocked less than completing the entire Easter egg, and I don't even understand why. So this trophy is unlocked by killing each type of zombie with a death machine power up in a single game. That means a normal, electric, and panzer zombie all need to be killed. Luckily though, there's some good old cheese for this. I went to round 12 where the first panzer spawns in and immediately turned on the zero gravity mode. If you then wall run onto just this specific blue tile, a death machine power up will spawn in on the other side of the room. I didn't know it stuck around less than my dad though, and it disappeared right before I could grab it. Luckily though, after running around for a while and making sure the panzer lit some zombies on fire with his flamethrower and electrified them with his shock charges, one random zombie I shot dropped a death machine for us, and a few seconds later, victory was ours, and I unlocked the rarest achievement in any zombies game. Rarest on PS3 is only owned by approximately 3,300 people in the world, which makes this achievement 39.5 times rarer than the PS4 edition of this on the same game. For this next one, full honesty, I just wanted to play Ancient Evil because it's one of my favorite maps ever, and apparently only 18,000 people had played it compared to the 500,000 players that this website's tracking for Black Ops 4. So what are we doing here? Well, the trophy called Devoted Follower asks us to stay in the spawn room and survive until the end of round 20. And to make things a little harder, I decided to do this without perks, which is a little painful preview for later in the video. Anyway, let's just skip to the good stuff, starting at round 11 because you've seen the first few rounds a million times in these videos before. So I used an elixir to put the Firebomb Pack-a-Punch ability onto my Strife, which ended up being basically useless. There's also the Shields Up elixir, which gives me a fresh Apollo's Will shield, so that's a huge poggers moment, and honestly, this was the thing that saved the game. Along with the Viper and Dragon Specialist being a Gigajaw Chad, helping me to get enough damage off through the zombies just to even finish out rounds. Then on round 14, I'm just minding my own business, and this Blight Father decided he was gonna spawn in and try to ruin my day. Well, look here, fucker, I'm the only one that's allowed to ruin my own day, so I sent him back to his mommy in a couple of shots. Have I talked about how much I love the Apollo's Will yet? It's a shield with a throwing spear, but being cool doesn't really prevent stupidity like my first down here on 15. And on round 17, I tried to get fancy by using an insta-kill elixir, and my Strife just couldn't outkill the spawns. Then as I was a little weak, a fiery boy showed up and splashed his fluids all over me. Usually I wait for the third date for that sort of thing, and now I have no more self-revives to last me through the hardest rounds of the entire game. Luckily round 18 went off without a hitch, and oh, haven't I mentioned yet, but Devoted Follower is actually twice as rare as the Easter egg trophy, which is actually super strange. Only 4,600 people have finished this challenge, but back to the game, I almost actually died on 19 by once again having no functioning brain cells. It kind of seems like a pattern. Luckily right at the end of the round, a full power showed up to refill my specialist since I'm really gonna need it, because right as round 20 begins, a Ballcock knee spawns in, and this dude was just built different. He tanked so many shots from my specialist, and I couldn't even just focus on him either because I still needed to kill zombies and not die. But luckily when the round ended, we unlocked our trophy, and I was able to kill the large Giganese with my spear and finish out this achievement. Sadly, this is where the fun ends though. Our last achievement for the day is by far the longest and also the most difficult. Welcome to World War II Zombies, and more specifically, the most disliked DLC pack ever created, the Tortured Path. The whole idea of this DLC was that it was 3 different maps where you need to complete different objectives to finish them. All of this is already quite difficult, but the achievement for Extra Tortured Path requires me to beat all 3 maps without using any perks. So let's get started, I guess, with Bodega Cervantes, where I spent about 6 hours trying to complete just this map. Right away, I run over to a battery that needs to be charged for Pack-a-Punch to be unlocked later in the game. Round 3 was our first special round where I need to kill 32 bomber zombies, which deal massive damage to me if I stand just a little bit too close to them. Oh right, and I forgot, there's also no armor machines on the Tortured Path, meaning that if I want shields, then I can get them recharged after every single specialist round and nowhere in between. Absolutely lovely. There's also no mystery box, meaning all the guns that I'm using are from the supply drops or bought off the wall at complete random. Round 4 was just charging the second Pack-a-Punch battery, and round 5 I lost 2 shields to some whistlings and a bomber zombie. Our next special final round on 6 is to kill a few sets of Meistermuschlers, which are these fast as fuck boys who deal twice as much damage as normal zombies. Some of them also throw saw blades, which deal 5 hits of damage each time. I barely survived these guys and finally got some shields back, plus one of my favorite rocket launchers in all of the zombies. And on round 7, I was able to charge the last Pack-a-Punch battery so I could finally upgrade my toggle shotgun and the rocket launcher friend because we're gonna need some firepower for the last challenge. On round 9, I was tasked with killing some super tanky bomber zombies before they could reach their target. Have I also not mentioned the fact that if you fail any of these challenges even once, then the entire game's over? Well, no second chances or anything? I haven't? Well, yeah, that's exactly what happens and I fucking hate it. I took it down trying to complete this obviously because wustlings can fuck off out of existence entirely, but before the last challenge, I did get the Midnight Tesla gun, a max ammo, and my armor back. So let me explain this boss fight. This giant Brenner spawns in and he's got a shield that you cannot shoot through. There's also these red circles that spawn randomly around the map. Basically, you and the Brenner both need to be standing in this circle when a mortar strike hits, damaging both of us and knocking down his shield temporarily. Nothing in the game tells you how to do this, you just need to guess, and I actually failed twice because I ran out of ammo trying to do this. Eventually in this game that you're seeing, I ran out of shields but kept on pushing through with my toggle shotgun and I got my final self-revive taken away. The Brenner got a shield back with a tiny sliver of health, but one last mortar strike was enough for me to knock him the fuck out. Now we aren't actually done, I do need to survive for another minute and evacuate from the map. Thankfully nothing bad happened here so we can escape, and now we are 33% done with this one achievement. The second map is titled Across the Depths and is basically a boat in a storm that rocks back and forth during the match. It can move a few objects around, creating or cutting off paths of movement, and other than that, it's the most bland, boring, forgettable map ever made. But just like the last time, we need to charge a battery on round 1, get through round 2, and on 3 we finally get a challenge. This time it's the Meistermuschlers again, and with the help of my Free Fire specialist upgrading my weapon while it's activated, those things went down like a sack of shit. Remember when I said the bodega took 6 hours to beat? Well, this one actually took longer because I swear the challenges sometimes are designed to be unfair in solo matches. Like the one here on 6 where you basically need to run around the map without any idea of what to do, and if you don't kill enough zombies that appear from literally nowhere when you're running, then you fail. I had to Google this and most people only beat it with the help of using nuke power-ups. Let's also not talk about the down there because if I do, something might end up getting broken. But I did finish it, so now I can head to the Pack-a-Punch machine to upgrade both my toggle shotgun like last time and the combat shotgun because shot for shot it does deal more damage. And do you remember the 32 bombers from Bodega that we had to kill? Well, now it's been doubled to 64, and this is actually the preferable challenge because sometimes you can get these fucking sizzle zombies and those things will outrun you, and I have never survived them in the like 5 times that I got them before. So eventually the bombers do go to the Afterlife arcade where they belong. Now it's boss fight time again, and this one is actually different luckily. My guy right here is sort of dumb as fuck because it feels like it just wanders around randomly at times. So I threw a monkey bomb that I got as a bonus for buying a wall gun, don't ask me how, but pretty quickly, even after making a dumb mistake and getting myself killed, big asshole went down like the rest of them. All we have to do is survive another wave for about a minute to successfully escape, and now we are done with 2 out of the 3 maps. Too bad it's not gonna get any easier. After a lot of trial and error, which basically means dying to the boss 3 times, I had to switch up my setup from the first couple of maps. I'm now running the dual wield M1911 and flak jacket ability to prevent explosive damage, which is going to be mucho importante later. Our round 3 objective was quite easy actually. All I needed to do was run around the map repairing these generators, which took maybe 30 seconds total. The round 6 objective is more Meistermuschlers, which with the help of my upgraded Free Fire gun stood no chance. It was like David versus Goliath, except if the Goliath punted David's tiny little body across an entire continent. I actually struggled more on round 7 trying to unlock Pack-a-Punch because the gun I was using just didn't want to deal any damage it felt like, so I lost 2 of my shields. Our last objective was actually interesting because it's a defend objective where I need to be really careful. If I leave this thing for more than like 2 seconds, it can go from full health to nothing. Good thing the bacon and eggs stun zombies, which buys me time, especially because I didn't want to waste my Free Fire right before the boss fight. Speaking of the boss, fuck this thing. So basically he hits like a bus first of all, and then when you remove 1/3 of his health, he returns to the center of the map and begins to heal. Once again, no one tells you about this in the game itself, you just need to figure it out. You'll then need to shoot these pillars that he heals from. Big fucker then falls over for a few seconds where you can put in a lot of damage to him. After the first stage, I actually lost all my shields, which means I'm gonna need to be extra careful. This is why I kept my Free Fire though, because we can damage him a lot in a short amount of time. Taking it down here does really hurt because it cancels the free fire, but luckily I still had some ammo. And I was able to get him down to a tiny bit of health where my other gun was able to deal the last bit of damage. We just need to survive now, and 60 seconds later we finished the hardest official challenge I've ever completed in zombies. Fuck the tortured path. But I've actually done harder challenges before, like the Origins Reverse Rainbow perk round 100 Easter egg that you should watch right now. It's coming up on the screen. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye bye.